freeing the first of a series of clips around the perimeter of the rear cover and remove it to access the battery here in the center of the phone. And we can easily lift that out of its housing. You're going to have access to the SIM as well as the micro SD cards. We want to remove those from the phone as well. We have a series of small Phillips screws securing a protective plate over the phone's motherboard and components. Let's remove all of these screws, securing down that cover. With the screws removed, we can use our plastic opening tool to pry the cover off, revealing our components and motherboard. Don't forget the 4 down at the bottom of the phone, securing our loudspeaker. Once those are removed as well, we can peel up our loudspeaker from the phone. Let's begin popping free our connections for the motherboard, starting down here near our dock port assembly. Here in the top corner for our front-facing camera, and then our last one here for the rear-facing camera. Connections are free, and our motherboard should be available to maneuver away from our phone. Let's pop out our front-facing camera here in the corner. We're going to use this space to push on the display assembly from the back using our screwdriver to begin the separation of our display assembly from the framework. To assist in removing the display out of the securing adhesive, we recommend using a heat gun or a blow dryer to soften up the adhesive, making it more pliable to pull the display away from the phone. About 1 to 2 minutes of heat should suffice. We can use our screwdriver in the space available where the front-facing camera was and push at the display from the rear. This opens up the separation where we can come in with our plastic opening tool and continue working it away from the framework around the perimeter of the phone. As we begin to peel the display away from the phone, let's begin addressing the connections down at the bottom by first removing our headphone jack. And then we can peel away the connections so that we can fish them through when we completely remove the display from our framework. In preparation for our replacement display, let's begin to clean our framework of any old adhesive, broken glass, or debris so that we can apply our new adhesive strips for the reinstallation of our replacement part. Here's a good shot of our framework with new adhesive strips already installed on the top and bottom of the phone. You'll see we've cut openings for the front-facing camera and proximity sensors, as well as slots for our wiring down at the bottom. We send out free adhesive strips with all of our replacement parts that you can cut to size or shape using scissors or your precision knife kit, and then install them accordingly. We're also going to show you how to install it directly onto the sides of your replacement display. We found this to be the easiest way to get as much contact patch for your new adhesive strips. You see here we have it already installed down the side of our display, and we're going to shave it using our precision knife kit so that we get the adhesive all the way to the edges of our replacement display. With all of our adhesive secured in place and ready for reinstallation, we can now remove the covers to our adhesive, as well as any protective film that's on our replacement display. And install it onto our framework, starting by fishing the connections through, securing the bottom of the phone, and then lining it up all the way up to the top of the phone, pressing firmly all the way around the perimeter, securing it in its new adhesive. Let's now begin reinstalling our components into the phone, starting with our headphone jack down here in the bottom. We can also install our front-facing camera here in the top corner. We can maneuver our motherboard down back into place, being sure not to snag it on any of its connections on the way in. Secure all of our wafer connections with the two here at the bottom for our display, our front-facing camera connection, as well as our rear-facing camera connection. Bringing in the loudspeaker and snapping it into the bottom of the phones next. Followed by the protective cover that goes over top of the motherboard that also houses our power and volume buttons. With both the loudspeaker as well as the protective cover in place, we can now secure it with the series of small Phillips screws. With all of our secured screws in place, we can reinstall our SIM card as well as our micro SD card. Align the contacts for our battery and reinstall it. And then bring in the rear cover to snap over top and secure it all the way around the perimeter, making sure to snap every clip in place. We can now power on the phone to check for full functionality. And there you have it.